Ladies and gentlemen, we are going over the Ultimate Salon Blueprint. I took a couple of the lessons that we have in the Level Up Academy and I combined them to just one quick PDF for you to go through if you need help growing your salon or figuring out some better ways, figuring out your freedom number, just figuring out how to get from point A to point B, which should be your vision, your goal on where you want to go with your salon. And so I think a lot of people they don't really map out or have a clear idea of where they want to grow, where they want to bring their salon to. You were a hairstylist and you feel like after you got some success doing that, the next evolutionary thing you should be doing is become a salon owner. And I think a lot of people don't fully understand the responsibility that is like thrown upon you, like between paying the lease or the rent every month, ordering, inventory, dealing with people, days off, front desk, dealing with taxes, dealing with different personalities, having someone go on maternity leave. And then you get to the point where you're you're probably making more money renting a chair or being a stylist for somebody else than you actually are owning your own business. So I think a lot of people have a false sense of what owning a salon is. And so this PDF is just going to help you have a clear understanding of how to structure your vision for your salon and the three really fundamentals that you have to grasp in order to be successful as a salon owner. And the first one is the salon model. Is it a hybrid? Is it rental? Is it commission? Is it W-2 employees? Is it salary? What is that? And there's no right or wrong answer. So you can do like a rev-share split where you and another salon owner or another stylist rather partner up on their business, and it's a rev-share model where it's an independent commission stylist. Then you have W-2 commission stylist. Then you have people who you rent space out to. You rent actually a chair or you rent a section of your salon out to. And then you have hourly, right? Where you figure out the numbers and how much that person, how much you're going to pay them per hour based on the amount of revenue they're bringing in. So there's a lot of different ways you could run your business, but it has to align with your vision. If you're not clear on your vision, first get clear on that. Have a crystal clear understanding of how big you want to grow this business and where you want to go. And then you start backfilling in the type of business model you want to have. Because if you want to have like untapped potential, a rental salon model may not be for you. If you want to have more freedom and not really be married to your business as much, then it might make sense for you because you have culture contracts, you have contracts and lease agreements with renters, and they're in charge of of their space, and you just get someone to help manage that salon. So they're doing the inventory for you and make sure it's being cleaned and making sure that it's open and all of that stuff. Then you could pretty much be hands off. Now, the other thing is you have to find stylists. So depending on what model you have, you're going to have to kind of figure out how are you going to attract them? What kind of messaging are you going to have on your social media so people reach out to you? They're excited to work for you. They want to join your team because they really align with a lot of the stuff that you speak about on your Instagram or TikTok or social media. Then we have a client attraction system. How are people finding out about your salon? How are they learning that you're the best salon in your community? What kind of content are you putting out? How's your Google business page? How's your local SEO? What are the things people are saying about you at the barbecues and the parties at people's houses and the community forums on Facebook? Like that's all encompassing of the client or the simple client flywheel. Do you know how to run ads? Do you know what a customer acquisition cost is? Do you know what a lifetime value of a customer is? So all of these things play a huge part in you growing your clientele in a salon. So I'm going to quickly share this blueprint. And if you want to DM me blueprint, I'll send this over to you with a full copy of this PDF, but let's just jump right into it. So let's present computer. Here we go. All right. So your foundation that we just spoke about is the perfect salon model. In here, I have step one. You want to figure out what your freedom number is. Because if you don't know what your freedom number is, then you may start a rental salon and realize like, hey, I'm not really free with this number. I'm kind of capped out. I got 8 chairs. They're fully rented. I can't really make any more money unless I raise their rent, and then they're all going to leave. So you want to first figure out what is that number for you. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude, you can use Grok, any kind of AI. Here is a prompt for you to use to figure out what your freedom number is. And then you just kind of put your minimum freedom number, your dream freedom number, and then your monthly target to make that a reality. Then we're going to design your freedom lifestyle. So you want to design my time freedom lifestyle, because if you have hobbies, you have family, you have things that are important to you, you want to have the time to do it. You don't want to be stuck in the salon running every single day-to-day operation. You want to actually live a fun, fulfilling life. So we're going to design your freedom lifestyle. And you're going to use ChatGPT for this or whatever AI. Like, you're going to have it ask you questions. You're going to answer the questions. It's going to help you identify what does that look like for you. Step 3, your salon culture. You want to design a salon from a culture standpoint that you're excited to go to work and you have a team that you love. Too many salon owners never focus on the culture out the gate, and they just hire people, and now they're overwhelmed. You got people pulling them in different directions. They don't align with them morally. They don't align with them on a culture standpoint. They don't have the same core values, and you actually hate going to your own salon. And the reason why you left the salon you were at before is because you hated the owner, and now you hate the salon you're at right now. So figure out what that culture looks like for you and only hire people that fit into that culture. A culture contract is a great way to form an agreement with you and a renter, you and a commission stylist, you and whoever works in your salon, to let them know exactly what that looks like for them. So they know exactly what the culture is in the salon and what you expect of them. And then you have to live up to that standard and make sure that if anyone doesn't keep up with the standard that you're setting, then it's time for them to go. And that's said right out the gate in the interview process. You let them know exactly what the floor is, what you expect from everyone. And if they can't live up to that, well, then no hard feelings. This is not the salon for you. Next part, your client acquisition engine. So I use something called the Simple Client Flywheel. Stage 1, make people aware so everyone knows your name in your community. Step 2, get them interested. Build some connections and credibility. That comes from communicating, using social media to DM people, message people back when they leave a comment. Create content that makes them interested in your salon. Stage 3, a decision. You want to make sure, if you're nurturing conversations for people who are, asking more about what you do, how you could help them with their hair concerns, you want to help them make a decision. And once they make that decision to come to your salon, you want to create raving fans out of them. That's step 4 or stage 4. You want to make them loyal. You want to make them really honestly tell every single person about how amazing your salon is. And if they do that, between the word of mouth and the advertising and your social media, you will have a steady flow of clients calling your salon every single day. You got to ask yourself, what would make this person scream from the mountaintops that this is the best salon and want to tell everyone how amazing it is? And then you got to deliver on that expectation. You got to make sure every single time they come to your salon, you're delivering on that promise to them. Now, the 4 pillars of simplicity. One simple service. So I want you to focus on one thing you do better than anybody else in the world. Like, if you had to enter a competition, a hair competition, and your life depends on it, would you do color? Would you do cutting? Would you do extensions? What would that be? Then you're going to create content just around that one thing. You're going to choose one platform. It can get overwhelming trying to juggle YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is that you're doing. Pick one. Then your best piece of content, you create an ad out of that. And then you create that ad, or you make a video out of it explaining, exactly what it's like to be a client in your salon. So you're going to drive them from the ad onto a landing page on your website explaining all about your salon. From there, they can book an appointment, fill out a contact form, and then now you're starting to capture people who are interested. Now you got to build a team, because if you have a beautiful salon, you got all these chairs, you have clients calling, but there's no one to do the hair. So you have to figure out what is going to make more sense for you. Should you hire people first, or should you hire clients first, or should you do both at the same time? So when it comes to attracting stylists, there's 5 content pillars that you should really focus on. And I want you to focus on your transformation. How do you get people to trust you? How do you get someone from out of school to being fully booked in 6 months to a year? your stories, your personal stories, your journey as a stylist, how you went from stylist to owner, things that make you uniquely you. And then you got some enemies, right? So Amazon could be your enemy, let's say. It could be like, you shouldn't buy products on Amazon, get them in the salon, like say things that are, that you truly believe in the industry are hurting the industry. So when I say enemies, I don't mean like your enemies at war. I mean things about the industry that don't align with you. And so if it's toxic stylist, if it's people who gossip, make that your enemy. Talk about that. Get people on your side to be like, I really like what she's saying about that thing. I think I want to join her salon. Your opinions, that gets people to love you. Like, what do you have an opinion on? And you want to be around people in your salon that you agree with, that you get along with. And so if they know your opinion on whatever issue is you're talking about, then more than likely they're going to want to join your team and have a similar interest in you. And then you want desire marketing. So you want to focus on aspirations, not desperation. You want to make sure you're focusing on people who are hungry. You want to let them know exactly how big your vision is. And your vision has to be so big that it fits your team's vision inside of it. And so you could do that through all of your content. Now, very similar to the Simple Client Flywheel you do for clients, they're going to do the same thing for stylists. Make them aware, make them interested, have them make a decision to join your team, and then you got to retain them. And this is where a lot of owners go wrong. Once you hire somebody, it's like you forget about them. So having either some kind of a rhythm for meetings, whether it's monthly, whether it's weekly, whether it's quarterly, I like to choose 3 buckets. Your newer stylist should be on a weekly basis, maybe bi-weekly. And then your a little more experienced stylists could be monthly or bi-monthly. And then your seasoned veterans should be quarterly, right? You don't want to like too much time drag on, but that's typically the cadence you want to do your one-on-one meetings with. Then every single month you have a team meeting that's mandatory that just gets everyone on the same page just to keep the rhythm and the culture going in the salon. And this way there's no gossip happening in your salon. You can get in front of anything going on. And if let's say there's a delay in your color order because you're out of stock with 5N from whatever brand that you're buying from, you can let people know that, hey, they're still out of stock. It's coming in next month, whatever happened with your distributor. That way people aren't talking like, hey, you're running out of money and the salon's closing. A lot of shit happens in the break room. Having that monthly meeting gets in front of that. Now you want to know what stylists want and what stylists don't want. And that comes from your hiring process. You want to identify what's important to that stylist and then how your salon could help fulfill that those needs of the stylist. And then you want to make sure you deliver on that. Okay. If a stylist wants to, let's say you have a rental salon and you don't really feed them, you just support them with whatever you have in your salon, the amenities and the beautiful atmosphere you have, but they need to be fed clients. If you don't do that, you can't make that promise to them. So make sure you know what the stylist wants and what they need. And if they need to be fed clients, they probably shouldn't rent the chair in your salon. Now, vice versa, if a stylist wants to be free and they want autonomy and they want to have control over their schedule, then being a W-2 employee probably is not a good fit for them. So establish what that is for them and then deliver on what it is that they want. And that's when your salon model really comes into play too. So booth rental, rev share split. And a lot of people talk about the whole 1099 model being illegal. 100% you can't 1099 employees. However, you could form an LLC or S corp to S corp, LLC to LLC. You could form a partnership between 2 business entities and do a rev share split. And then you provide the salon and the atmosphere and the support for an independent stylist. That's why your salon exists. And then you guys split the revenue on a either tiered scale where it's like 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. And then that's how you legally do a 1099 structure when it comes to commission, but technically it's a revenue share split because you guys are almost partners on that business behind that chair. Now, commission W-2 is self-explanatory. They're employees. You give them a commission on what they bring in behind the chair and how you support them. Hybrid is a mixture of both rental and commission. Typically, hybrid is going to be booth rental and then W-2 commission. You want to make sure you're fully aware of the ABC ruling in certain states and with the IRS, so you're not, you're not blurring any lines or doing any misclassification. If you guys want more information on that, just do me a favor and shoot me a message on Instagram. I got a bunch of literature and materials to show you how you can structure that properly. But now you want to use this prompt. I want to calculate my salon's profitability. Ask me your monthly rent and utilities, the number of chairs that you have, your business model, what you're doing, booth rental, commission, hybrid, the commission structure that you have set up, how many like services, what's your average service price, services per stylist per week. And these are a series of questions you could prime an AI with to help you figure out what is going to be your profitability in the salon. And then you just jot these numbers right down here when you print this up. Now your action plan from where you are now to where you want to be. There's going to be a gap. Okay. This is going to help you implement a roadmap to get there in 90 days. So you're going to have AI help you with all of this. We're going to jump down to some 30-day quick wins, your 90-day vision map. And then every single vision needs to have a vision statement. As far as I'm concerned, the way the law of attraction works is you have to fully step into the person who is already in that era of success. You have to believe it, you have to truly own it, and you have to become the owner who is successful, who's making $1 million a year profitably. And it's really difficult when things are hard and it's not a reality for you right now. So that's why a success statement helps you realign your vision every single day. I read mine multiple times a day. And when you have this, it reassures you that you're on the right path. And if you ask yourself, hey, is the next thing I'm about to do aligned with the success statement? If it is, do it. If it's not, then don't do it, and refocus and recenter what you have to do that day. And then now we have your perfect salon model snapshot. You're going to fill this out, your next 3 action steps. And now we're going to completely integrate this with your day-to-day life, your weekly life, and your monthly reviews. So you want to figure out what are your daily operations and what are your actions you're doing daily. Then you want to have a weekly focus. Monday, team development and culture building. Tuesday through Thursday, client acquisition and service delivery. Friday, recruiting and prospect nurturing. The weekend, content creation and strategic planning. Guys, as an owner, you have 3 hats you're wearing, especially if you're still doing hair behind the chair. You have the operator or the artist, you have the manager, and you have the leader/entrepreneur. That leader/entrepreneur is the visionary. Think of it as being a captain of a ship. If you're busy rowing with everybody else, you're not up top to guide the ship to see where you're heading. It's important that you head up top and really see where the ship's sailing to. What direction are you going into? If you don't do that, if you're stuck behind the chair all the time, you will not have a good gauge on what direction you're heading into. It's so important that you truly step into your entrepreneurial role and you wear that hat more than you wear the artist hat. I promise you, stop making decisions from the viewpoint of an artist, start making them from the viewpoint of an owner. Now you have your quarterly evaluations, quarterly evolution. So every 3 months, you're going to be evolving and you're going to be growing to hit your goals. Final success principles: start small, stay focused, be consistent, track everything, and never stop learning. This is an ongoing cycle. You're always bettering yourself. You want to be a better owner, become a better version of you. Invest in yourself, learn how to market yourself, learn the language of marketing, learn the language of accounting, learn the language of leadership, learn how to operate your salon like a true owner and a true leader, and you will be successful. I promise you. If you want help with this, do me a favor, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. Say, Grow, I'm a salon owner. I saw your live. I want some help. I saw your YouTube video. Give me some help. If you want this PDF so you can implement some of these strategies, just say, hey, Nick, give me the blueprint. I'll send it over to you. I won't ask you for an email. You might get prompted for one with an automation, but just I'll be in the conversation sooner or later, and I'm going to give you that blueprint. This will help you get clarity, get focus, and have a clear understanding of where you need to head with your vision, with your actions, and truly become the owner that you set out to be when you first opened your salon. So that is today's live. If you guys have any questions, James, you could hop in the chat and give them to me. If not, then I'll see everybody later.
Yeah. What's the best way to hold my team accountable without being a control freak?
That's a great question. Do you have a position agreement for each one of your team members and each one of their roles and for each department? When you first hire somebody, there should be what I call a position agreement, and it works for a stylist, it works for a front desk, it works for assistants, and think of like an SOP, right? But it's a little different. They're agreeing to show up in one way, shape, or form that you outline in that position agreement. You list out what you expect from them and what that position of a stylist entails in your salon. Inside of that position agreement, you also tell them how you're going to show up for them and support them. And then you have cadences of meetings and check-ins with people to hold them accountable. If you do all that, they're going to be doing exactly what you need them to do. And so it's important that you fully have a solid interview process so they understand what's expected of them. And if it doesn't align with them, then they don't join the team. And so if an issue comes up, hey, Jennifer, remember when you first came on the team, we had the position agreement and it was totally cool with you to be posting 3 times a week and you had no problem with that. But the last couple of weeks, something like you haven't been posting, and I just want to make sure you're good. You're okay. Like anything wrong in life? Do you want to talk about anything? Can I help you in any way? And so you want to make sure you're using something I call neuro-emotional leadership questions. And I literally just taught a class in this yesterday. The way you ask your questions and the quality of your questions you ask your team will truly determine the quality of your leadership and how you get them to show up for the salon and more importantly for themselves. So really focus on how you ask them questions when they're not doing what they agreed to when you first hire them. So first step, position agreement. Second step, have the right kind of questions to identify what the real problem is. Great question. Next question, James.
Yeah, Bet Styles on Instagram. How do you do this when you're stuck in the cycle financially?
Identify what the biggest constraint is on your business financially. And so sometimes you might have to take a look at your personal life and then live like no one else will so you can live later like no one else can. So take a look at your personal spending. If you're an owner and you're a leader, you chose to sacrifice a lot for your family, for your team, for everyone. Like I made huge sacrifices for my own family. Like going through this evolution of stylist to owner to e-commerce owner to mentor coach and open multiple salons and take out leases and do construction, like my family has to suffer, unfortunately, not forever, for a temporary period of time. And so had I want to live the lifestyle that I wanted to give them for the whole duration of me owning it, I could not really build the salons I wanted to or hire the mentor. So take a look at where your money's going personally, see if you can wrap that up and like put a like a patch on the leak of where that money's flowing out of. And then it might be, changing your lifestyle slightly to refocus some time and energy on your business to make that more profitable. But there's something called the theory of constraints. If you take a look at your business, what is constraining your profits the most? Identify what that is, fix that, and then everything else really falls into place. And every single quarter, you're going to focus on a new constraint. If you truly need help with that and you're ready to invest in yourself and get out of that situation you're in to be profitable, shoot me a message and we could take a look at what's happening in your salon. I'd love to maybe help you identify what that constraint could be. But one thing you do is parts and labor right out the gate. You're covering your color costs, and that would truly help you kind of recoup some of those expenses as well. But it just honestly, people like to focus on data and numbers, and that's very overwhelming for you because there's money in, money out. You have to take a look at what is the biggest chunk of money leaving your bank account every month, and where is that's going, and how could you solve that problem? Next question, James.
Yeah, we got. How do you build a strong culture where people actually want to show up and grow?
All right, this is a brilliant question. Do you know what that culture looks like for you as an owner? Like, do you have a clear? Can you sit down in front of your team and clearly take them through exactly how you want every client to feel when they book an appointment, when they walk in your salon, when they call to make an appointment, when they see your website, when they see your Instagram, when they talk to your front desk, when they talk to an assistant, when they drink their coffee in your salon? Identify what that is. Then what I want you to do is figure out exactly what the feeling every stylist has when they walk in your salon, when they do a haircut, when they check people out, anything and everything that has to do with that stylist. Then I want you to figure out what you want out of your salon from a culture. Like, how do you want to feel when you walk in your salon? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel when you speak to your team? How do you want to feel when you hear what people are saying about your salon out in the community? Identify what that is. And then get all of those notes written down. And then say to yourself, all right, where am I at right now? Does anyone feel this way when they walk in from a client standpoint and a style standpoint? How do I feel when I walk into my salon? What are my non-negotiables for my salon to actually make this happen? And then how far am I from this dream salon? And what needs to be true about how I show up every single day as a leader myself in order for this to happen? And then whoever doesn't align with that vision, whoever doesn't align with that culture, no hard feelings, but this is where I'm bringing the salon to. I totally get if this doesn't fit your culture, you're more than welcome to open your own salon or head somewhere else. There will be people that want to join that. And if you're confident and you're crystal clear on what that vision is, people will follow you. You need to have a vision so big And it needs to be win-win for your stylist, for your clients, and for you. And if it's win-win across the board for everybody, and the culture aligns with that and aligns with you, and it makes you happy, that's how you do it. Just you got to be crystal clear on what that means to you. And then you got to be crystal clear on where you are at now. Don't lie to yourself. Who is part of your team that doesn't need to be there? Who is part of your team that you love and would like to multiply and have more of those types of stylists? And then hire more of those people, fire those people, never hire them again, and then you'll be on your way.
Westwood puts in the chat, should a salon owner cover the cost for his stylists and barbers further education, like small seminars, online courses, etc.?
Yeah, it depends on what your commission structure is. If they're W-2 employees and they are not doing how I like to do it. I like to do a tiered program, right? Start them at 40%, you cover their education. And then they could be a W-2 employee, let's say. As they evolve and start building up and start retaining their own clients, they might need less education and less of your time. Then they jump to 45, 50. Now, you can't really pay above 50% or 48% with a W-2 commission model. With independent stylists, there's a way to do it, like I said earlier. So then as they transition to be independent, you could do something like, wait, if you pay someone 60% commission, you can cover 40% of their education. They cover 60% of their education in their class. But for me, as an owner of a salon, I choose to cover their education. And a lot of people ask me, and this quote really holds true to me. Someone was like, what if you train your team and they leave? What if you don't train your team and they stay? This is your brand. This is your salon. At the end of the day, this is your business. What do you want people, or how do you want people walking out of that business? You want them walking out as 10s or walking out as 5s because you don't want to invest in everybody. So the best way to do it is what I do, called the camcorder method. You create your own training program. You should be the one doing the haircuts and the training and the coloring and the cutting and all of that. So you can start creating your own internal system, and you get the best of every service you have in your salon, the best person that fades, the best person that shape ups, the best person that long hair, short hair, curly hair, extensions, color, whatever the hell it is that you guys do in your salon. Have them create the lessons and the classes. You just film them, they document it. It's called the camcorder method. Have them do a voiceover, extract that voiceover, upload that to ChatGPT, create the checklist and the outline of how that class should go. And now you created your own internal handbook. Once it's brilliant, you package it up, you sell it as a course, and now you monetize your internal training system. You're welcome. That is called the personal economy. That's how you do it.
We got what kind of SOPs or checklists should every salon have, like the bare minimum not to be a hot mess? Or to not be a hot mess?
Go to nickmirabella.com, download the handbooks I have, the Ultimate Salon Handbook. That's the front desk, that's the stylist, that's the operators, that's the assistant, that's everything you need. It's only $99. It would literally give you start to finish. There's a maintenance schedule for your salon in there as well. That is everything you want. Get those handbooks. They're downloadable. So once you purchase it, check your email, go log back into the website, head to the course section, and then download them so you own them personally. And then you can edit them in Canva or Google Docs or whatever. All right, guys, I have a call at 11. I'm going to be starting that in 3 minutes. So thank you all for watching this live. Guys, we're kicking off lives typically every day around 10 o'clock again. So if you're in California, get up early. If you're on the East Coast, enjoy. If you're in England, well, there'll be at like 5 o'clock your time. So get your questions ready. If you guys want more information on the Ultimate Salon Blueprint, message me on Instagram. I'm at Nick Mirabella. Hit me up, say Blueprint. I'll send it over to you so you can actually follow along with this video. And have an amazing day. See you later.